if you don't care to hear me talk about myself right now, go ahead and skip through. I'll leave a timestamp like right about here at the bottom of the screen, so you can get to the technical stuff as far as the mixing in the MPC Live. Today I'm getting ready to do a mix in the MPC Live. I've never actually done this. A little background about myself. I did go to an audio production school and got a Associate of Applied Science in Audio Engineering and Music Production. So I understand the concepts a little bit. I used Pro Tools through that whole process in school, and then for a little while after I was outside school, but then I got kind of bored of it. Like I've explained in other vlogs, I don't really like using computers for mixing or for music. So I want to take the concepts that I learned in school and using Pro Tools and apply them to the MPC Live. If this whole process kind of takes a while, I'm gonna probably split it up into a couple videos, but today I want to go ahead and just get started organizing some things in the MPC, like just organizing a project in the MPC Live just to get ready for the actual mix process. Because they're doing some landscaping. I live in an apartment complex. I had the windows open up because there was a nice little breeze coming through. It is winter time, but it's a sunny day where I'm at, and the breeze is kind of nice. I probably won't be going outside today very much, but I had to close those windows. And then I'm gonna turn this light on so I get some better lighting. See, I got that little light, little light here. Let me show you. I think it helps light up my whole situation in my room. It's a light bar, rechargeable, super bright. Got that at Kmart, but it's cool. It lights things up a little bit better. And it's temporary for now, you know, until I get something. Until I get a space that's a lot better than this. I'm thankful for what I have, though. I wanted to talk about some other things while I'm about to do a mix in the MPC Live. I think I will go outside for a second to get some fresh air. Be good to get some air. Gotta do a little meditation. Breathe in, breathe out. No, but really, if you don't care to hear me talk about myself right now, go ahead and skip through. I'll leave a timestamp like right about here at the bottom of the screen, so you can get to the technical stuff as far as the mixing in the MPC Live. But I did want to talk about how a mix is the balance of many different elements. In order to have a good mix, you gotta make sure everything's in its right, proper place, that everything has its own frequency, that everything sits properly in time. Everything just fits, okay? Basically, I can't put that any better right now. Also, being that life is about balance, you know, life and family, my children, my fiance. I should say I will to be a better friend and a better brother, a better son, all those kinds of things. And then just as far as myself too, just keeping myself healthy. You know, I work at a gym, so while I'm there, I do have an hour lunch and I could be working out. Those are some other things for myself I need balance for. Eating better, my spiritual growth, you know, reading the word, meditating, I guess, learning to let things go, growing in patience, all those things that are very important for the spirit. I think where I'm getting at is, and for this video and how it correlates to what I'm about to do, is that in order for those things, in order to find that balance, you got to start with some kind of organization. So everything has to have its place, so you got to consciously think about it and probably consciously write it down. I'm going to go in and organize a project in my MPC Live, but also what I need to do is organize my life. Because I'm just using the time that I have when it becomes available, and I take advantage of that, and then I get on doing like a video or something. But I think there's less time that's available because I don't organize myself. The time would be more available if I did, if I predetermined this is how long I'm going to be taking my time to work on video projects, music projects. And this is the time for my children, for my fiance, and they deserve that time, and they know they'll have that time. They're aware that this is the time that I'm putting on my personal projects that are for the benefit of me as well as my family, because the goal is to be successful. And I think I can get there through this organization that I've never really actually, you know, attempted to put in practice. So I think I've got enough fresh air for now. I'm going to get inside and organize some things as far as this project and the MPC, and then I'll go ahead and I won't take up any more of your time and organize my life and get some things on balance. I've got this beat going on. I've got these micro monitors by, I believe it's IK Multimedia. My room is far from perfect, so I'm gonna have to work with what I have. I'll probably do like a reference, play a reference song like through the speakers just to get a good idea of, you know, what the low and mid and high frequencies kind of sound like. Apply that to when I'm doing my mix. But first of all, I want to get organized, and I'm going to turn the camera up on the MPC Live. So I have my beat. When I make beats, I usually have all my samples, pretty much one bank and one program. And okay, so that's my program right here. I usually title my beats by the date that I make it on. So I made this one a while ago, back in, what is it, April? Day before my daughter's birthday, actually. Interesting. And I think she actually helped me make this song. She picked out the sample, which was interesting. She picked out the sample. So thank you to my daughter for helping me make this beat the day before her birthday. Anyways, all right, so since I have all of my sounds on one program, what I want to do to organize this a bit, like you would do in any DAW, you would color code your tracks. And since you can't color code tracks in MPC Live as far as I know, I'm going to do it by pad. And then I'll later show you how that correlates to putting things within instrument groups and using pads in substitute, or using the pad as a track. So looking at pads as tracks. And I like all my drums to be one color. So what I'm going to do to change colors of individual pads, you change it from classic velocity to fixed, and then press single pad there. Choose your color. Then I'll go ahead and press those pads. I can do it here. There, looks like by default they're already red. So I'm just going to start by changing everything else. I'm going to change my samples. I'm going to go with, say, yellow. My samples are here. That's not a sample, but I'll change that back in a second. So I got those, and then I'll do vocals. Let's do vocals like a purple violet looking color. I don't know, is that violet? That'll be there. So those are my vocal samples. And then my bass, I'll go with blue. Choose blue. And these are my bass samples. Okay. So that's it. That's pretty much what my whole beat consists of. So there I have a color-coded representation of different groups as far as instrument types all in one drum program. I want to show you my little workaround as far as not having buses, like drum buses or instrument buses. I'm having groups for the MPC Live, and talking about using pads as tracks rather than using my track view, because I don't feel like there's much you can do in track view. Maybe there's something I'm missing. You can let me know if you do know. But I feel like the only thing I can do in track view is affect the volume and the panning, mute, and solo. So there's much more I can do within my pad mixer. You know, I can add effects, I can control volume as well. Being that I have all of my instruments, all my samples on one program, I'm going to copy this program out. And so I have, let's see, how many groups would I have? I would have drums with the red, and then I have samples with the yellow, basses with the blue, and vocal samples with the violet color there. That's 4 different instrument groups. I'm going to copy my program. I'm going to just go ahead, it's known as duplicate here. I'm going to do that 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do it 4 times just to keep the original. So I have 5 copies of my program, but I created 4 new ones, and I'm going to rename each one according to the instrument type. So this is going to be my drum group. So essentially, what you're going to have here, drum programs are going to function as a bus or a instrument group. So what I'm doing now is just naming each one of these copies of the same drum program by instrument group. From here, I'll go in to program edit and remove everything that doesn't belong in the instrument group. So right now I'm in my drum group. I'm gonna remove everything but my drums. Alright, so everything here in my drum group is now just a drum. All these other pads are now empty. I'm gonna go do this in every one of my instrument groups. So this is my sample group, everything but those 3 pads will be removed. I'll do that so on for every single one of these groups. Now that I have all the right pads assigned to the right groups, to the right instrument groups, I'll go ahead and assign the proper instrument groups to the corresponding tracks. So this kick track, as it's labeled, will be my drum group. And I'll do that for all of my drum tracks. And then this is the bass group, so I'll do that. I have my Vox track, so I'll put my Vox group there. There is another drum group. And I think I forgot at the beginning, this will be my main sample, so it'll be my sample group. Alright, so now that I have everything organized in my MPC Live, my project is set. I got things color-coded. I have pads serving as tracks, and then I have drum programs serving as buses or instrument groups in my MPC Live. So moving on to the next step, gain staging. Now, gain staging, I'll admit, is a step that I haven't really consciously addressed in my mixing in the past, or really spent much on the process, but I've done it when you go into a mix, you're adjusting levels. But to simply define what gain staging is, it's pretty much just adjusting the levels relative to each other so that you avoid clipping on your master track. Pro Tools or any other software on a computer, you'd likely have, I've heard of but never used, that there are such plugins for this gain staging purpose. And they're usually like a trim plugin, and you'll put it at the top of your effects chain. It'll keep things at an appropriate level. But since I don't have that in the MPC Live, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see that within my effects choices. I'm just going to go in to the channel mixer here and take a look at my master fader and then adjust some of the levels of my groups so as to not be clipping to start my mixing process. Alright, going into my channel mixer, I'm going to move over to the master section and go ahead and play this. So right off you could see that it's exceeding 0 dB, so I've already clipped. So now I need to take measures in order to avoid that, because I want to leave what is known as headroom for, say, a mastering engineer, or if I wanted to do a quick master myself with my limited knowledge that I have on mastering, that I leave some headroom for that, and then, you know, leave headroom for an artist prior to that mastering process. So I've decided that I would go out now from here into my track view, and in order to bring my master fader down below 0 and create some headroom and avoid that clipping, I'm going to go ahead and change or lower the level of these individual tracks that I have. And so let's go do that. And this is not a science, as I've said, as you might have noticed. I'm just going to turn it down. I'll just turn each track down a little bit. Since this is not in, the reading is not decibels, then I cannot turn it down that way. And I don't know the science of what 127 velocity would be to decibels. Maybe someone out there knows. But I'm just going to turn this down to 97 and then go back into my master fader and then see how we're doing as far as headroom goes. Okay, so back into channel mixer, and then I'll reset that by double clicking it. You see that there was the little red line there from the clipping. Double click it and it'll reset. So we're still clipping a bit. I'm going to go back in to my track view and turn this down quite a bit more. I'm gonna go say about halfway, 127, 67. Just do that across all tracks. Got my channel mixer. Okay, so I'm no longer clipping. I'm at about maybe -2 dB. So I'm probably going to want to go turn back into my track view and turn those levels down a little bit more. I went ahead and I turned down the level of each one of my tracks to 57. Now on my master track, the loudest part of my song is at about -3 dB. So I think that's a good little area to start mixing. Like, it's kind of the norm is what you want to leave is about -3 to -5 dB of headroom on your master bus. So I'm gonna leave y'all right there as far as just showing you some organization and then a little bit about how to do gain staging, a real amateur perspective on gain staging in the MPC Live. It's not a science. I'm just figuring this out. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and work on a mix and then share with you guys later what I came up with in a future vlog. Last vlog I gave away some free key group expansions for the MPC Live, so if you haven't gotten those yet, go ahead and check out vlog 10.5. Download link in the description. There's 2 key groups in there for you for free. Go ahead and check it out, enjoy. And then also, I have even more samples coming for free. They are known as the Lo-Fi Classic, so that's actually an expansion pack. I've put a few different samples together, 2 key groups, and then a drum kit. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell so you get notification of that. That will be coming soon. Thanks for joining me once again. I am Raul. This is Lifted Noise, and this has been my super amateur mixing inside the MPC. So I'll get back to y'all with some more, with the continuation and part 2 of this later. So check it out and subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks again. Peace.